Welcome, everybody, to It Tastes Different Gaming News. What's on the news today? Call of Duty and Xbox sales. All right. So, apparently, Xbox Series X sales are increasing. Thanks to the recent success of classic Call of Duty games, going back, multiplayer, and all that stuff's being set back up, and for some reason, it's actually increasing sales of Xbox. Let's get in here. So the Xbox Series X sales on Amazon alone have risen by 84%, and some retailers are actually being, are stating they're selling out. Now, according to this article, it seems to be that it's due to Call of Duty sales. Classic Call of Duty games are selling like hotcakes on Xbox. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is back online. People are playing the crap out of it, which is just weird, which is really weird to me. Since the Xbox 360 Call of Duty servers were fixed, people are reporting Xbox Series X's being sold out in stores. That is something I never thought I would hear, period. Especially Xbox Series X is being sold out in stores for any reason. So I don't know if this is true, but I mean, Amazon is reporting 84% increase. So I haven't looked to see what the Call of Duty sales are doing right now on the classics, but if that's the case, that's pretty cool. I like, that you can still play the older games. Older Call of Duties were better anyway, especially Modern Warfare. The original and 2 were much better, even better than the remakes, in my opinion. So, Pat, what do you think? I don't know, it just seems odd that Call of Duty of all games would increase Xbox that much, especially at Amazon. Because if Amazon says 84%, I would believe it. Why would I lie?
I mean, but do you really believe it's because of Call of Duty? But I mean, because they're basically claiming that the 360 Call of Duty servers have been fixed, and that's what's driving up the sales. I'm like, come on, are you kidding me? I mean, maybe there are a lot of Call of Duty players out there. I can't deny that. Yes. There are a lot of Call of Duty players out there. But is the demand for the 360 version of Call of Duty that high in demand? Like, do people miss it that much? And if so, cool. Glad that Microsoft affords the backwards compatibility to play this, right? I mean, I'm all for that. And that's why I'm all for game preservation as well, because let people play what they want to play. It just gets really hard of letting people play what they want to play on what they want to play it on, right? Like, at some point, Microsoft is going to have to say, I can't keep going back. I can't keep going back. I can't keep going backwards. Every time a new console comes out, they're going to have to weigh the pros and cons. But, as emulation technology gets better and better, I mean, maybe it becomes easier and easier as time goes on. I don't know. I'm not big into programming or emulators for like PlayStation or Xbox or anything like that. When I'm looking for emulators, it's for like cabinets, games, and stuff like that to play those type of games and stuff like that. But technologies, if old arcade cabinet emulators are any hint of the future, then we're in trouble, because those things are horribly and notoriously flaky and annoying. So, but if that really is the cause of it, I don't know. Maybe it's a two-pronged approach. Maybe it is the Call of Duty servers getting fixed. Maybe it's also because Microsoft is basically getting to move forward with the Activision purchase, the Blizzard Activision purchase. Because that means there's a real big possibility in the next few months that a lot of Blizzard Activision games are going to be on Game Pass, right? I mean, there's a real big chance of that happening. I don't know. Maybe that's a year off. Maybe that's further, but I do see those games coming to Game Pass. The Activision CEO and his D-bag putting his foot in his mouth, like always, basically was like, Diablo 4 is not coming to Game Pass. I'm going to laugh my ass all the way into Diablo 4 when it hits Game Pass. if it does. I don't see why it wouldn't, because Activision Blizzard is now Microsoft. Microsoft is daddy, and they're going to do what daddy says, or they're going to get a spanking. So,
oh, daddy.
Right, exactly. So I don't know if it is Call of Duty and it's causing the Xbox to sell out. Cool. If it's a combination, cool. You know what I care about? More reasons for game developers to make games. And Xbox is selling out here in the US. It's a good thing. 84% increase in sales means more gamers to make games for. I think it's probably a combination of things. The consoles are readily available now everywhere. The Activision Blizzard buyout is basically all but done. It'll probably happen somewhere between now and October when the new deadline hits. And Call of Duty 360 servers getting fixed. It's a perfect storm of events. All I got to say is, cool. Let's get some more games. What about you, Nick? Do you think Call of Duty is to blame for why the Xbox Series X is selling out in stores?
Maybe. I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think most of it may have to do with the Activision Blizzard merger, right? And that kind of going through, because just recently the news of the FTC basically being denied, their go against Microsoft for the merger, and then the appeal getting shot down. And it's kind of like, everyone's kind of on board, especially with PlayStation saying, fine, we'll sign a 10-year deal with you. I think even with that 10-year deal, I think a lot of gamers out there are going, well, even thinking, well, if I'm going to play Call of Duty, I better get an Xbox, even though Call of Duty is going to be on PlayStation. But I think they assume the same thing, that it's going to be a part of Game Pass. And Pat's right. It is funny seeing Blizzard say like, "Oh, Diablo 4 is not going to be on there." It's like, yeah, well, once they own you, yes, it will be, because Microsoft will be like, yeah, it's going on there. Like that's, they're saying no now because they want people to go out and buy it, and that's, that makes sense. But once that deal goes through, then those games will be on Game Pass. And the Call of Duty games. A lot of the Activision Blizzard games will be on Game Pass and PC Game Pass and stuff like that. So that's just how it's going to be, being owned by Microsoft, who owns Game Pass, right? They're going to put that stuff on there. So I think it's just a combination of things, right? It may be a combination of the 360 servers being fixed. I know a lot of people do like the old, especially Black Ops and stuff like that. So I'm sure that has something to do with it, but I would, if I were to guess, I would think most of it has to do with this Activision Blizzard merger. Finally, kind of, people were didn't know how it was going to go, but after the recent findings with the FTC and that whole court ruling, I think people are like, okay, it seems to be a go. So, let me go out and buy an Xbox and kind of get ready for that. Because even though PlayStation has a 10-year deal, I think, what was it? I know they changed the deal, and Shane might have more insight on that than what it was originally. I think now it's just like the mainline series only or something like that, like not spin-offs and things like that. So, I don't know if Black Ops is a part of that, right? Because Black Ops is kind of a spin-off compared to Modern Warfare. So that, a new Black Ops may not be on PlayStation. It might just be the next Modern Warfare, might be, It depends on how Microsoft did the deal with PlayStation, but it is what it is. And so people are going to go out there, but I agree 100% with Pat. That just means more gamers. We don't want one console to rule them all, because otherwise that stifles innovation, and competition's good for everybody out, all the gamers out there, all of us out there. Competition's good. So we want Microsoft to be able to compete with PlayStation, and PlayStation compete with Microsoft. And if something like this helps with that competition, that's good. That's good for us as gamers, because we get more innovation, more competition, more better pricing, and new things coming out for both consoles that we can all look forward to, and developers trying to push the envelope on both sides to make, their case on either console. So it's great for everybody all over. What do you think, Shane?
Yeah, I think there's still definitely that subset that doesn't is concerned that it's only going to be, Call of Duty is only going to be on Xbox, so they're going to go ahead and buy now. They're not paying attention to us because we're giving them the news that it will be on PlayStation for at least 10 more years. The increase in sales, I agree with Pat, that just more money in the bank, more money for development, more money for new games. More games makes us happy. We're happy boys when we have new games. But I think it's definitely a blend of Call of Duty games being, updated to be able to play online, stuff like that. Because I personally enjoyed the older Call of Duties more because there wasn't all that garbage of, buy a million different skins and Godzilla going to come in there and, tear up the map. I don't want that in Call of Duty. Call of Duty should be about me shooting you, you shooting me, and, 1,000 shots to the back by hackers. That's Call of Duty. But it is also definitely got to be a part of the Activision Blizzard purchase. It's just a given. Timing just works out too perfect for it. And as far as the deal goes, the 10-year deal is for Call of Duty. That's it. From the last thing I read was the purchase on the 10-year is only for Call of Duty. It's not for any other Activision Blizzard games. It's not for Spyro and, basically games that are really known on PlayStation, which in a way kind of sucks because Spyro is a PlayStation game to me. But I'll play the hell out of it on Xbox too. I don't care. But I definitely think that's a big part of the whole increase. Microsoft Xbox has had bursts of sales here and there. I mean, they've outsold Sony a few times, not much, but a few times in a month. This just might be another one of those little, burst of sales that next month it'll go back to Microsoft getting their butt handed to them by Sony. So but there's definitely Call of Duty is a big game. I mean, Call of Duty is a huge franchise. It is, and it carries weight. It truly does. But I don't see too much of an increase in sales just for Microsoft acquiring Call of Duty. So, but if I'm going to play an FPS, I do want to play it on Xbox just for the controller. Maybe primarily for the controller. I like the online services better for Xbox, but the controller is definitely for console is definitely an FPS stream. Plain and simple. They've really, really done an amazing job on it. So I don't see this increase happening more than probably this month. The next month it'll go back to the way it was. But I do like backwards compatibility, and I may download a couple of the old ones just to jump in and play and get my butt handed to me like old times. Me and Nick, we used to play the hell out of the old Call of Duties, and then they got worse and they got worse. And by worse, I mean I want more money, I want more money, I want more money. So that really ruined the series for us. But I still buy them for the single player. I always have, because I've always enjoyed the single player. Some I love, some I like, some but none of them have ever been terrible. But I don't know. I don't think we're going to see this too much more unless, Medal of Honor makes a comeback only on Xbox. So I definitely play some more of that.
Diablo 4 hits Xbox Game Pass. Xbox game sales go up. And Game Pass sales go up.
You absolutely know it will. They will make a Diablo 4 Game Pass. I don't see that not happening. When you pay that much money for a developer, yeah, you know what? You can have your way for a year, maybe two, but after that, I'm your daddy. Just like you said. Who's your daddy? Microsoft.
I think that's like day one business when they hit the ground and Kotick comes in and Spencer sits in and Spencer says, everything you got, Game Pass, I need it there by next month. I would laugh my ass off.
I want your toys in my toy box.
Like now,
and then I want Bobby Kotick
yesterday. Yeah. He probably already called up Bobby and said, hey, Daddy says everything Game Pass. when I sign this contract, I want to flip the switch the next day and it's there.
Oh, absolutely. And if they don't, I would be severely surprised. I mean, that's billions of dollars to just go, all right, we'll wait a little bit, no bullshit. No, I want your toys in my box and bring your knee pads, Bobby. Because Call of Duty will be on Game Pass real fast. I have no doubts in that.
Wasn't he leaving though after the merger was happening?
He freaking better. He's a poop stain of a human being who needs to go bye-bye real quick.
I thought he said he was leaving after the merger was done.
Yeah,
I mean, that was
better not be a
originally,
part of it.
I don't know if that's still the case, but when it all first started.
I mean, I don't know. I heard that he was staying, but I don't know. I think it was all a rumor. Nothing was ever guaranteed that he was leaving, but
that should have been a whole part of the sale. I'd take Spyro. You guys keep Bobby. Screw that.
Well, I mean, Spyro's already on Xbox, so the trilogy remastered and everything's on
That's
there.
true. That's true.
But yeah, I mean, he just basically didn't come out and be like, I want Diablo 4 on Game Pass tomorrow. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't even ask. He doesn't even say anything. He's like, hey, Bobby, guess what? Check your Game Pass.
Check your Game Pass.
Check your Game Pass. But it's exciting to see. What's hurt the last two generations is lack of competition in a lot of ways. Microsoft, they try, they fail a lot. I really want that to change. Nintendo, they're doing their own thing. They're playing in their own pool. They don't worry about anything else. We need more competition, and I want Microsoft to be able to compete with Sony, and looks like maybe this will be a trend, and they can start competing with Sony, and then we'll both start innovating more. So that's what I
want to be a fly on the wall when Phil Spencer goes in and has that meeting with Ybarra and Kotick, and basically is like, what's yours is mine.
Yeah.
See ya. I want to see him say. I want to see him say that and be like, "What's yours is mine. Get the hell out."
I want to see that contract signing with him and Jim Ryan. He just walks in, sets that little piece of paper down. It's got Call of Duty 10 years. After that, go bone yourself. You should have signed this 6 months ago, you Scrooge. That's what I wish. I would just love to see that.
It's all the lawyers that do all that
anger signature. Yeah, I know.
It would be better though if they just walked in and Spencer puts his feet up on the conference room table, smoking a fat stogie,
Yeah. I just love the idea. Check went through, bitches.
Daddy has come home.
Get daddy a brandy. Yeah, but I love that that Microsoft is looks like they're going to start competing as long as they don't screw it up. I mean, they've got developers. They've not been doing that great. They've had some gold out there, then they've had some Redfall. So they've really got to get a good streak going. So
they need to do something, because if not, then I don't. If in the next 2 years, I'm giving it 2 years. I'm probably being a little more generous than I should. If they don't start popping out bangers in the next 2 years, unfortunately, I look to see Microsoft closing down some of our favorite studios.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
Microsoft doesn't turn it around.
I think 2 years is pretty generous, but I mean, we got Starfield coming. That has to. If Starfield don't hit, Starfield ain't an 8 to 10. I think that's may not be the full nail, but it's going to get hammered down quite a bit.
It needs to be a 9 at least.
Yeah, it needs to be a 9 at a minimum. I agree.
And then Fable's going to have to hit when it ever comes out, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Unfortunately, if Microsoft would stop announcing shit 5 years early, I don't think it would hurt him as bad. That's my opinion, but quit that junk. But anyways, increases in consoles, increases in revenue, increases in, putting back into game development. So let's hope the trend continues. And let's start seeing some competition. You guys have anything else on this?
Nope.
All right. So if you don't have an Xbox, it's the only place you can play Call of Duty now. Go buy some. Just kidding. But let us know what you think. Do you see this increase in sales continuing? Do you think it was just because of Call of Duty? Or do you think, there's other shadowy figures in the background that cause this increase? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Just let us know. But don't forget to hit subscribe, hit those notifications, hit all that good stuff. Tell your friends to come watch us and enjoy the show. And we'll see you next time. See ya.